Maud Mamle Adjanor. Mamle Adjanor, teaching for the past 19 years in the international school. Maud has been facilitating students learning from early years through the primary years, utilizing different standards, including early years foundation stage, Montessori learning. Somebody wanted to know about Montessori learning. She's here. Bridge, IB, PYT, scope, and sequence. Active engagement strategies and assessment, formative and summative, and many more. She is an IB certified teacher with certifications in PYP categories 1 and 2. Cambridge English teacher, a first-class bachelor's degree in early childhood education, and currently holds 2 master's degrees in these 2 areas. Educational leadership and management, as well as educational psychology. That's a lot. I'm not done, no. I'm not done. Okay, she is the CEO of Lucretia Network, an organization that promotes learning and teaching in various fields through continuous workshops and professional development. She is also the pioneer behind Love Gift Network, an NGO that helps people's lives better. That help make people's lives better through savings and donations. She has over the years held workshops for schools and individuals across Ghana and in neighboring countries. Her passion for teaching has won her many awards, including the best overall staff at her current school, Ghana International School. That was last year. She believes learning never ends. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome her.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Okay, so I have a long profile, but it doesn't mean anything if I'm not putting my education or my knowledge into use. Okay, so I'm glad you are all here, and I hope that we are all going to learn together. Today we are having a session on phonics, phonemic principles in reading, or what you call Jolly Phonics. How many of you have heard of Jolly Phonics? Okay, how many of you are practicing it? Okay, all right. So before we start, okay, I'll come to this later. Before we start our session, we are going to go through the KWL. How many of you have heard of that too? You have. Okay, what is it? Okay, so we are going to find out what you know. Every teacher or every classroom teacher should find out what his or her children know. Children don't come to school as they are not empty headed. They have come with some knowledge. So I know, because you know something about phonics, I would like to know, not for the knowing sake, but to help me in my delivery. So I don't really repeat everything that you know, but go to the extent of giving you something that you also don't know. So I'm going to share the papers around. We are going to do 2 things. We are going to talk about the K, which is what you know, and then the W, which is what you want to know or what you wonder about. So everything you wonder about phonics, reading, writing, just let us know. So 1, you write K for what you know. I know that phonics is A, B, C, D. I want to know something about reading. I want to know how phonics can help me. Do you understand? Yes, so I'm just giving you a clue. And when you are done, because I want it to be a bit interactive, you're going to get up yourself and then you paste your work. One thing that I encourage in my class is, when you give it to me and I paste it, nobody else reads your work. or read your intention or thought that you have shared. But when you're coming to paste, you see other people's. Please don't write your name. You see other people's and you are able to read and then learn from them. Okay, so I beg your pardon. I'll be asking that you get up, you join me to do something, if that's possible with you. Is that okay? Yeah. All right. So then, K, what do you know? What do you know about phonics? What do you know? If you don't know anything, just be frank. Just write, I really don't know anything and I want to. So your want to, it means you want to know more. 8, 7, 6. If you are done, please come and paste it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so what I know here and what I want to know over there. Classroom routine or some few classroom, you can keep it. Some few classroom routines. Okay, so when I shake, I don't have my bell or my shaker here, but when I shake this one, it means I need your attention. So you just wave like that. You wave and then I'll ask that you put your hands down. Okay, sometimes I will make an action. I want to see whether my children are listening, so they have to do the same. So when I do this, you put your hand on your head. I do this, and then when I do this, they also put their hands down. So we'll be going through few classroom routines. Okay, all right. So when I shake this one, what do you do? Okay, so anyone whose hand is not up means the person is not paying attention. Okay. All right, thank you very much. I have seen what you have written. It's quite interesting. No answer is wrong in my class. Okay, no answer is wrong in my class. That is your thoughts. So as we said learning brings change. My colleague said that yesterday, learning brings change. So whatever you are coming to learn about or what information is being given will change your perspective about something else. So it will let you have a new, either keep yours and add, or do away with yours and assimilate a new one. Okay, so no answer is wrong in my class. All right, so objective for today, we are going to analyze types of the phonic frameworks. We have phonic frameworks. We don't only have jolly phonics. We'll talk about the types of phonics as well. The importance of phonics in reading. Then we come on to the jolly phonics, exploring learning to read versus reading to learn. So we explore what learning to read is, and then we align it to reading to learn. Then I have assessments in phonics and then reading fluency, which I saw in your I want to know. All right. How are you feeling? Look at the pictures and tell me which number you are feeling right now. Just raise your hand. So yes, you are feeling 6. Oh, she's feeling 6. Okay. How are you feeling this morning? It's not clear. Okay. Number 2 looks like he's yelling. Okay. And number 1 looks like he's kind of cool. Okay. Number 4, it looks like he's tired. And then that's number 3. Then number 4 looks like he's playing the piano, maybe thinking about something. Number 5, he's holding a wine. a drink in the cup. Is that what you're feeling? You're feeling irate, right? And then number 6, he looks calm, cool, all smiley. Number 7, I don't know. Number 8, he's looking kind of tired, but he's wondering, somebody who is wondering. And number 9 is like someone who is confused. Those of you who are sitting close, I'm sure you will see it's right there. So how are you feeling? You number 5, okay. Number 6, yes. Number 1, okay. You're cool, right? Yes, any other person want to share? How are you feeling? 6. Ouch. Okay. All right. Who is feeling number 3? Are you feeling number 3? Oh, so you know this activity is used to determine how your children are feeling. Sometimes when you do it over and over again, it doesn't become that fun. It's become truthful. They tell you exactly how they are feeling. So he is feeling number 3. He's not feeling okay. So what do you think? He needs emotional support. So either before the lesson or during or after the lesson, I'm supposed to see him and find out why he's feeling yes. And now I know how everybody is feeling. When I start teaching, I know what to expect from you. So he's not feeling okay. So I'm not sure he is going to participate yet that much. So what are the things I would do or say to help him feel okay? If I know that he loves music, then I'll play some music and then the whole class will do what? Will dance, exactly. If I know that, oh, he loves rhymes or some actions, then I'm going to, he's hungry. There's no food here. Okay. All right, so this is another icebreaker. Maybe we will not go through, but just to inform you. So it says that let's have a new nickname for today by the following under mentioned rule. So your first name is how you're feeling, and then your last name is the food you like. What did I eat, or the food you've eaten for today? Okay, so I have drunk water. So my name is Excited Water. Wow. So excited water, I mean water. Okay, so what I am feeling and then the food I ate. How many of you ate heavy this morning? Okay, what did you eat today? Wache. And how are you feeling? Ire. So what's her name? Ire Wache. Yes. Any other person? Yes. How are you feeling? You ate yes. I should add that yesterday to the fufu. Fufu, sir. Okay. And how are you feeling? Strong. So what's his name? Strong. So you can imagine how funny it feels or looks, and the children get excited about it. Okay, so let's move on. So what is phonics? We've said a lot here. Let me read what some of you are saying. He said phonics is about sounds and reading. Phonics is about sounds. It helps us in blending words. Phonics is sounds of words. Phonics is speech sound. Phonics is helps kids read at early ages. Phonics is the pronunciation of sounds of alphabet. Phonics, somebody elaborated. He says phonics is the sounds of the alphabet and how to blend them. And you are all right in the way. Okay, phonics is all about sounds. When you hear phonics, the word phone, what do you do in the phone? You call. When you call, what do you hear? Sound. So that is it. It's coming from either a Greek or a Hebrew word. I'm sure it's a Greek word. Yes. So it means sound. Okay, it says phonics is also a method of teaching people how to read and write an alphabetical language. Phonics is a way of teaching children how to read and write. It helps children hear, identify, and use different sounds that distinguishes one word from another word in the English language. I put English language because all languages have sounds, okay, and their phonemic arrangement, but we are going to learn about the English language. The English language phonics or sounds are similar to other languages, but they are all not the same, okay. But so if we are focusing on the English language, it says phonics involves matching the sounds of spoken English with individual letters or groups of letters. For example, the sound k can be spelled as k, 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 or k. How many of you are surprised that the sound k has 4 sounds put together? How many of you already know that the sound k can be seen in these beginning words or these sounds? Okay, so you know of 2, right? Which one and which one? C and the K. How many of you know of 3 or 4? You know of 3. Which other one do you know? The C. Give me a word with the K, with C. Chemistry. Character. Church is ch, not k. So we have alternative sounds, okay? And I'm going to take you through. I pray that it gets exciting. Sometimes it's getting boring, you have to stop. Okay, so I pray it gets exciting and then we learn more. So that when we are teaching the children, even in the JHS and the higher primary, you don't think phonics is not important. The way they pronounce the word is the same way they go and write in the exams. I remember when I was in the secondary school, there is this exams you write and it has this words being pronounced that you have to circle. I don't know how the oral English. And some of them, they will not give you the words to circle, they will let you write it. And then this, I think they said that. And how do we all say the word? Do we all pronounce this one? That. So I didn't know, so I wrote this one. That's how we pronounce it. In our local setting, we are not taught sounds. We are only taught how to memorize the words. So however the teacher pronounces it is how you pronounce it. So you see how important it is as a teacher to be very knowledgeable. So however you pronounce your word is the way your children are going to pronounce their words as well. And imagine they've gone to the exams hall and most of the words are T and H. What will happen? And sometimes when you are writing an essay too, sometimes you cannot even find the word in your mind. So how you pronounce it is how you write it. And sometimes you'll be amazed that, am I the one who wrote this word? You come out of the exam and say, I made a mistake. All because of pronunciation of words. Okay, so let's move on. It says phonics. Okay, so we've done that. And what about this K? The C and K. Any word for C and K? Cock as in this one? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's how come we are talking about the different aspects of one sound. We will go deep. This is just an example. It says teaching children to blend the sounds of letters together helps them decode unfamiliar or unknown words by sounding them out. For example, when a child is taught the sounds for the letter T, P, A, and S, they can start to build up the words tap, tap, spat, pats, and sap. You don't need to wait, especially when they are of age. Okay, you don't need to wait till the school year is ending or they go to the next class. If you know you don't do blending in your class, but a child is ready to blend, I think you should help that child to start blending the letters. But it's very important that all the children in the school can identify all the letter sounds and say all the sounds, okay? And then we have a dimension of the sounds that are for the infants and the dimension of the sounds that are learned when they go to the next class, and I will take you through that. Like the alternatives, you don't teach the KGs or the nurseries these alternatives. They will forget unless you are teaching it through songs, okay? So they only sing like a rote learning, so they have it in mind. So when they go to the next class and they are being taught, they will be like, oh, this one, I think I know it, so they learn it better. All right. Please, the papers are still around, so if you have any question, don't wait for the class to end, okay? Just pick it and then, or you have any addition. We said we are also learning from you, all right? We don't know it all. We are just telling you what we do. You can also tell us what you do, okay? All right, so we have types of phonics. Jolly phonics is not a type of phonics. It is not a type of phonics. We have types of phonics, okay? And I'll tell you what Jolly phonics is. But these are some of the types of phonics, what we call synthetic phonics. Synthetic phonics. Can we say it? Synthetic phonics. Exactly. So the most widely used approach associated with the teaching of reading is in which phonemes, which is sounds, associated with particular graphemes, which is letters, are pronounced in isolation and blended together, is called synthetic phonics. For example, children are taught to take a single syllable word such as cat apart into 3 letters, pronounce a phoneme for each letter in turn. So if I say cat, you find out from the children what they hear. Okay, what can you hear when I say cat? What do you hear? What sound do you hear when I say cat? K. So if I am a child, okay, I can either write this one or that one. Okay, so let's go. I only know one and then I only know one t, but I know these 2 k's. So this is where when the child brings the word or the paper, you don't tell them that you are wrong, because they can defend themselves. Okay, but you let them know that some words have the C-k sound and some other words have the kicking k sound, and then you tell them that the word cat is for this one, so you correct them. Sometimes if you have pictures and flashcards, you can show it to them, because sometimes children can argue with you and it's okay for them to argue. Yes?
In a psychological context, so we say for them to distinguish, we said there's a soft C.
Yes, and the hard, yes. So the C is the soft, the K is the hard. All right. So you see, we have soft letters and we have hard letters. I didn't include it. Let's see if by the time we are done, whilst I'm talking, I may include them. Some people may not know, others also know, so that it helps also in your pronunciation and then your reading when the children are reading, okay? And then we have analytical phonics. Okay, it's a popular approach in Scotland. This method is linked with the teaching of reading, in which the phonemes linked with particular graphemes are not pronounced in isolation. Children identify the common phoneme in the set of words in which each word contains the phoneme under study. For example, the teacher and people discuss how the following words are alike: part, park, push, and pen. Okay, so how alike are they? And then they will have to identify, yes, the phoneme in the beginning. Okay, so that is how they learn the words. And then we have analogy phonics, a type of analytic phonics in which the children analyze phonic elements according to the phonograms in the words. A phonogram is known in linguistics as the mime or the rhyme. Is composed of vowels and all the sounds that follow it, such as ache. So every rhyme is a word that ends a word, a group of words or sounds that end a word. Okay, so we have ache, and then so you can see ache, fake, bake, and most often this is what we use to teach the family words. And sometimes we let them say it, cat, mat, sat, all the art words, all the an words, all the, so that ending sound that looks alike that we call rhyming words, they are called the rhyme words. Okay, so you know where the rhyming word is coming from. This is rhyme. All right. So this is how some people also learn how to read. And I'm sure some of your teachers do it here, right? You do lots of family word reading. And then embedded phonics. It's an approach to the teaching of reading in which phonics form one part of a whole language program. Embedded phonics differs from other methods in that the instruction is always in the context of literature rather than the separate lesson. So they are teaching whilst the children are learning to read, rather than you saying that we have a phonics lesson. So we are putting all reading things aside and I'm going to teach you the individual letters. You understand it? And the skills to be taught are identified opportunistically rather than systematically. This is how most people unawarely teach. It's on-the-go reading. Such cannot be applied in other reading concepts. You cannot apply that in other reading concepts. And I think that's the four, that there are four. So I think the synthetic phonics is what most of us use. And that is what the Jolly Phonics institution has captured and then tried to rearrange the letters in the way that they feel it will help the children learn better. Okay, so the Jolly Phonics is an aspect of, they are using the aspect of the synthetic phonics to teach. All letters and sounds are also using the same structure to teach. You can just write them down and then type them online. You will get their resources to use. Any question, please, or any contribution? Yes.
The embedded one, the embedded phonics is not all that clear.
It's not all that clear. So the embedded phonics, instead of teaching the single sounds, they teach whilst reading. So just like most of the Ghanaian schools do, it is when you're reading, you know the reading books you've given to the children, they can't read even one word from it. So whilst you're reading, you're writing the words and telling them that this is that, cock, clock. So then, as at now, I can say, I don't know whether it's class 1 or class 4 reading book. Mr. Kuma has a little cat. It is a black cat. The name of the cat is Blackie. Mensa and they like the cat very much. They play with it and they give it food. Blackie is a little cat, but it can catch a big mouse. Won't you clap for me? Yeah. It can catch any mouse.
So this one, does it use encoding and decoding?
No, it doesn't use encoding, yes.
So yes, this is the way.
Yes. So it says that when the opportunity comes, then the teacher teaches the word. But then it is not systematic, like I have to teach A, B, C, D, or A, T, P. Yes. So whatever topic you're teaching, when the opportunity comes for the children, then you teach them the word in it. You get it, like in the course of teaching, yes. So it says that it is not a separate. It's not a separate lesson. In the course of your teaching, then you teach them, and that is what the JHS also does. You know. they get to the senior or even class, from class 5 to maybe the time they complete school, there are some words they have not come across. They learn it whilst you are teaching. Yes. So that is this embedded phonics. They learn the word whilst you're teaching. So whilst you're teaching, you get them to learn some adjectives that you haven't used the whole of their lives. They don't even know what it is. Then when they're reading their textbooks, they get the word from it and they learn it. That's embedded phonics. Masa, is that okay? Okay, all right. Can we please continue? Okay, there's a question here.
So in the case, I want to know that when they are reading and the word comes out, are you going to use the phonics for them or you use the normal?
So, you know, they had to have a foundation, but as at now, I'm not sure some of them may have had the foundation. What we do in our school is that we provide support for children who come in without the knowledge of this. So we have the support teachers who come for them and then go and redo this as if they are in KG. No matter how old you are, you're supposed to know all your sounds. And then normally it's easier when they are older because they keep the sounds and then they're able to blend faster and then they move on. By the time you see the child is back into the class with the other children, and if the child is very knowledgeable, they're able to catch up with reading. Okay?
Yes. I also want to know, normally when we are doing reading,
yes.
We usually write words on the board when we realize that the kids cannot understand, but that's a new word or a new vocabulary.
That is embedded, yes. Yes, that is embedded. You didn't set time apart to teach that word, did you? No, it came as the opportunity came for the word and then it had to be taught. Okay, so that's embedded. So you can see that sometimes we're doing embedded, other times you're doing the synthetic, or sometimes you're mixing them up. But then what we encourage is the synthetic phonics from the beginning. If you start from the beginning, you hardly use this one because by that time they are already aware of their sounds and they can easily blend words. Okay. All right, so what is phonics made of? We've spoken about it's made of sound, which is the phoneme, and the phoneme is a single sound. Okay, it's an individual speech sound. There are 44 phonemes in the English language, but I think Jolly has 42. Jolly has 42, but there are additional ones that they've not added, like the vowel blends and then the consonants blend, which are the alternatives. Like this one, they've not added it to the 42. So we have I as in this or this, then we have I as in this. This one has not been added. Okay. All right. And then we have the phonogram. Phonogram. Have you ever heard of phonogram? Okay, so it's just like graphemes. There are two letters, separate letters put together to give you one sound. There are two letters put together to give you just one. Can you give me an example of a phonogram? Please, I don't want the example on the board.
So example like two E's.
Two E's. Okay.
E and A.
Now, when you tell me the sound, I know what it is. I'll write it. So, what is two E's? E. E. Come again.
E.
It's also E. It's also E.
Double O.
Don't tell me double O. No. Ooh. Okay, so so this is oo, but we have two types of oo. Who knows the two types of? Oh, don't be shy. I've told you no answer is wrong in my class. Yes. No, this one. There are two. What and what? No, I'm not talking about owl. Who can pronounce these two? They are two different.
Those two things are the two different things.
I'm telling you, they are.
One is in the
That's how you.
So
One is long and one is short. Yes, one is long, but we always, yes, we have ooh and ooh. Ooh, ooh. So you say ooh, ooh with a jolly. You say ooh, ooh. So when you are pronouncing some words are short and others are long, but we pronounce them the same way. You get it. That's why sometimes when you go for interviews and, okay, on your party, I don't know whether you go for interviews, but sometimes they also look out for how you are pronouncing your words. So just for, by the way, so I'm doing embedded now because this is not part of what I just showed you. It just came up and we have to learn it. So the long oo goes with this word. So what you said is short. Book. Book. Fool. Yes, fool. That's long. So we have L, long, and then we have short. A cook.
So it's open and closed syllable?
Come again?
Is it open and closed syllable?
Yes. Yes. This is short and then this is long. So when you're mentioning or reading, the children should.
I want you to say open and closed. Open and closed vowel. Because in education therapy, you see, because of this is open, then it goes. I don't know if you get it.
Extended, it's extended, and this is closed.
It has a consonant, then it's closed.
Okay, so that's also for it's a separate thing because it's the same sound even if it's closed or it's open.
Okay.
Yes, even if it's closed or open, it's the same sound. All right, so are we learning something?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam, please.
Yes.
In teaching my class 1 child
Okay.
how to pronounce this word or how to attack this kind of words, am I going to tell him or her that we have the short one and the long one for now?
Yes, please. Yes. 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 It's a lesson that you teach. So the oo is for a lesson. It's a lesson that you have to teach. If you,
I know, but the short one.
yes,
The short time.
yes, yes. So that when they are making a sentence and they are reading, they can say that I have a book. Mom took me to school. They won't say I have a book. You are laughing, but that is what we do, and that's what we say. So now you become aware. You, the teacher, you're also learning. So you become aware of how to pronounce certain words and how to even interact with your children. Because when they know noun and you are making the mistake, they will tell you. Yes, dear.
What happens is that the government, we don't teach them rules in mentioning sounds. So in class 1, we don't teach them the rule of mentioning the long. So we teach it as a sight word. So we have been teaching it as a sight word. So how you mention it is how the kids mention it. That is
The teachers.
where we have found ourselves now.
Okay, so I'll come to that. Okay, I'll come to sight words because we have sight words, but most often because we haven't, we don't follow these rules, we have to teach. Can you imagine the number of words in the world? How many of them will you teach as a sight word for the child to remember? If I teach ooh, even the long ooh, I can get 20 ooh words, and the child can read any ooh book in the world. If I teach them the short, and they identify that these words are short, they can just read any book in the world, whether it's in my school or another school or whatever. So you don't need to now teach BOOK, C-O-O-K, C-O-O-L. How many oo words would you have taught them? You have a question?
I teach a child that Soko is pronounced oo, and I write flat on the board and ask him or her.
And you write what?
S-L-O-O. And I ask him or her to pronounce.
The child will say fluid. Yes. Are you asking the question, or you're asking what you should do? As a teacher, and you're teaching oo, does the oo sound reflect in the word flat?
No.
Blood? So then you haven't taught the alternative or the sight words or the tricky words she's talking about. So there are some words that may have the same written sound but not the same sounding sound.
Madam, please, to add to that, sometimes
Yes.
it confuses them. Because last I was teaching my small girl in the house, the art words, let's say the R in the middle are words. When we go to cat, bat, and we go to CAP, and she mentioned it as cap, and I said it's not cap, it's cap. Then she turned the rest of the words to So after
It is cap. Why are you telling her it's cap?
So you are introducing phonetics at the level.
It's cap.
Yeah, when you teach such things at their level, they will be confused. Because even as adults as we are, when they are teaching phonetics, how to mention the R sound, as in sat, instead of S, they say sat. If you teach a child in a level, because you said, the child.
I think you're talking about diction from somebody else's country or language, right? It's diction. It's a diction problem, but A is A. You don't say when it is A.
Madam, what I'm saying is that, you know, when you are doing phonetics,
Yes.
the R that becomes as in sad or bad. You don't say bad.
That's for reading and pronunciations.
So when you are teaching a child to pronounce that word, maybe just because you have also done phonetics and you want the child to say sad, because you are teaching them
Blending.
So the child is still mentioning the S-A-T as sad.
Of course. That's.
So I think that it is when they are growing up gradually.
Then you add on. Yes.
So you can
Do you understand?
At the higher classes, maybe P6 and HS or upwards.
Of course. So you don't teach, as I told you, there are some alternatives that you can't teach in reception. They will get confused and they can't even mention or write all the words. So you teach the appropriate ones at the age leveled, yes, classes. Okay. So if you are teaching her and she says cap, let her say her cap. It's cap. When she gets to where you have to teach real letter sounds, as in the original letter sounds. You know, in the dictionaries, A is not what we see as this. There are some signs. That's what you are talking about. That's the pronunciations you're talking about. And you don't teach this in kindergarten.
And how old is the child?
How old is your child? 6 years. You don't teach them this unless that child is a very brilliant child. No, you taught her the sound. Yes, this is what you said. You didn't. This is what she said, and this is what you said. You get it? For you as a teacher, you should know all the differences. You should know all the dimensions of sounds, the phonemes, the graphemes, the vowel blends, tricky words. You should know them because as we encountered, some of you don't stay in the same class. Some of you are taken to the higher level. So if you don't know and they take you from the infant to JHS, you struggle. But I imagine you all know all this. It's easy to be moving around, even to correct the children in the JHS and the prime. Sometimes, because we don't know, we find it difficult to even go to their classrooms and engage them in their work. Because you know, oh, what they are learning is, it doesn't, I don't know. So can't correct them or teach them the right thing. But if we are aware, then we'll be able to share ideas with each other and then help the children we teach. So these are all phonograms, just like I said. All right, so just being aware of sounds. In our setting, we don't just start with the A, B, like the very infant school, as in the 2 years, then the like 6 months, 2 years, 3 years. We don't start with A, B, C, D. We start with common sounds, like the sound of an airplane, the sound of the cock, the sound. The children should be able to identify so it's called environmental sounds. I'm sure you teach it in the higher level, but 2.5 years, they are learning about environmental sound. So when they are here and they hear a sound, they should be able to tell me it is motor. So we have games we play. You get pictures of the objects, and then you spread them around. Then you just play audio sounds for them to pick the pictures up. So they should hear the sound of the sea and be able to say that this is the sea waves, the sound of the sea waves. Animals, I know you do that a lot, the sound of all the farm animals and all that. So that's the beginning. So if the child is prepared in their mind that, oh, these are sounds, then you can move to the next level whilst they're growing up and then teach them the individual sounds. That will help them to do their reading and then their blending. And then we have what we call the syllables, right? You know that, right? What is it? Okay, so you've given me the action, but you've not told me what it is. What is it? What did she say? What does it mean? Nukoko. Oh, okay. So that is it. You are sure, you are not too sure, you are not confident about yourself. So that is where we encourage our attributes. What Jessie shared yesterday. So in my class, in my lesson like this, I have some attributes I want the children to engage in, like effective communication, like confidence. So I've listed them down. So if I see that you have been confident, I can take your name on the peg and peg the confidence flashcard. And then with that, you also have a point. So you encourage the children, even within the lesson, you are assessing other things. It's a skill. You get it. So she was saying it, but she was like, she's not building confidence enough. And I've told you in my class, everything is correct. Everything, I like that word. Everything is correct. All right, so please, let's share. Even if you don't know, just say it. Okay, if you say the wrong one, then I know, oh, okay, this is what is in your head, and then we change it with the knowledge that we have. All right. And then also it is splitting words, splitting huge words or long words into smaller bits so that they will be able to spell. It's basically spelling, so it's like segmentation. The other word is to segment. Okay, but this one mainly is for long words. So if you have a word like pronunciation, can we clap it? Ready, go. Pronunciation. How many syllables? 4. What's the first one? Can you spell it? Noun. Pronoun. Can you spell the noun? Noun. Noun. See? And then shin. No. So if they know the shin as in the higher level, a child in year 1 or reception will not tell you shin is T-I-O-N. They'll do this for you. And it's correct. Is it not, Shin?
Yes.
So sometimes you do embedded when they bring this, and you know the child can learn smarter. So that particular child will learn that there is another alternative for Shin for that word, which is T-I-O-N. So sometimes when they get another word and they're right, they'll ask you, is it the one you taught me? Then you would tell them that yes, this is the one you taught me.
The children want academic or learning challenges.
Sure.
The children with learning challenges. The children with learning challenges, especially auditory processing.
Yes.
They are more like, actually this is how they hear the word and this is how they write it.
Exactly. And they are not wrong. It is an upgradement, okay? The higher they go, the more sounds they get to discover, and then their spellings and languages change, okay? But what they know is what they have to write, okay? It is different when a child is supposed to write Shin and they are writing something like this. You definitely know that the child has no idea of their sounds. They have no idea of their sounds, okay? So, Lady Maud, my name is Lady Maud. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Lady Maud. So, let's assume as a child writes S-I-O-N for Shin. There's a pronunciation that we talked about.
How old is that child?
The child is 5 or 6.
Okay.
So let's say it's creative writing. Do I penalize the child?
No. Have you taught them the T-I-O-N? Have you? No, I'm asking.
Perhaps
no. Okay, so you can't penalize me for something you haven't taught me. Do you understand? Like the checklist.
The expectation.
Yes.
By that time, when they get to that level, they should have, the milestones. They should know that.
So if they should know, then it means it has been taught from a lower class to where they are, or they have been exposed to it in one way or the other, as maybe a tricky word or a sight word.
Him asking this question, it took me back to last year when I was teaching class 5.
Sure.
I had about within 2 weeks.
He said the child is 5 years, not in class 5. Class 5 they should know, so you penalize them. Yes.
that means that previous, let's say, as teachers, we need to do our work very well.
Yes.
So that as the child progresses, it will not be deficient.
No, not at all. Yes. That is why whatever the previous teacher teaches is your concern. Don't say that that's not my class, so she can do whatever she wants. She will bring them to you. Yes. Yes.
We also have
S-I-O-N. So when you're teaching in the higher level, you teach all the alternatives, all the shins. You get it? Yes. And then when you're teaching the shins, you definitely have your words written there. If it is possible, your school, the board, you clean it. And the words, they are forgotten. Sometimes you never come back to the word or the lesson again. But when they are in the class, just like he said, exit and entry, I do that a lot. Before you go for snack, go and read 10 words on the wall. Sometimes I'll pair you up, yourself and your partner. Okay, read to him and let him read to you. So sometimes some children are very truthful. They'll tell you he didn't read, he didn't read. Because if you don't read, you won't go for snack, the two of you. So if I have read and you have not read, I'll come and report to you. You get it? Yes. And reading should be every day. You should have like 15 minutes or 20 minutes in the school day for reading. Intentional reading, not just reading, intentional reading. We call something dear time. Drop everything and read. It's either before lesson or during the lesson. So very early morning, I have a dear time. And they'll have to drop, and when you come to school, you put your bag down, you pick a book and read before you do any other thing. And it helps a lot. Sometimes, if not a book, what you know they are challenged in, that is the opportunity you have to work with them one-on-one. So if you know the child cannot mention all the shin words or u words, write them on a piece of paper and give it to them. Go over and give it to them to go and memorize it and read it. And then they come back and read it to you, and you know you are done for that child for the day. Reading helps. We find new words like the embedded that we haven't really come across, and we pick those things, and then when we are writing our persuasive writings and narratives, we are able to use those words to express ourselves. Okay, so it's very, very important. I'm told I'm left with 5 minutes. Aww. So these are the sounds. We have the consonants, we have the vowels. They are the same everywhere, okay? And then we have the consonant blends, and then we have the vowel theme as well. So you can see this word, and you can see the rest of the words out there. Reading consists of 2 elements, decoding and then comprehension. Comprehension is their understanding. Sometimes they can read, but what they've read, they don't understand. I remember when I was in school, I can read French, but I don't understand. Yes. French, monsieur. I read the French, but what I've read, I don't understand. So have I done? Yes. I've not had enough learning. All right. So we have decoding. We'll talk about it when we come back from the break, and we'll have lots of activities. I think we should pause before, yeah? When we come back, we start with Jolly Phonics, and then we have some engagement.